and I'm a full supporter of everybody being able to come to America. Give me your tired, your rich, your huddled masses. That's what it says with this. I don't want to get too political, but do it the right way. Put your fingerprints down, get a social security number, let the government at least know you're here. End of my tirade. I don't want to get too tirade when I'm thinking. See what I did there?
That's good.
And coming here to America and not being able to speak a word of English and speaking Hebrew and Hungarian and some other languages, I couldn't understand anything. But I never, I come from what's called the Promised Land in Israel. Trust me, there's no country on earth, including Israel, that you can't shine the shoes of America, the greatest country that has ever been anywhere. And as a former 6th grade teacher, you find out some stuff. It's been a tarnished past. There's been lots of bad stuff that happened with America, but it's grown to an astonishing, no matter what your political view is about President Trump, it doesn't matter, because every 4 years you'll have a chance to vote your conscience, and the Founding Fathers figured out there's a curtain, and you draw it, and it's nobody's damn business who you vote for. Just don't listen to anybody else and vote your conscience. And if you don't like the current president, get somebody else. If you love the current president, put him in again. But don't let anybody ask you, who did you vote for? My immediate reaction is, who the fuck are you? What are you, my judge and jury? There's a curtain there. It's nobody's business what your political persuasion is. Anyway, I'm done.
All right, so let's talk about music. Let's move away from politics and let's talk about music.
Yeah.
So, first of all, everyone, film and take as many pictures as you want. # Gene Simmons Vault. Right?
Uncle Gene for president.
Uncle Gene for president.
They don't pay enough. And I'm not even making a joke. The sad part is that the most powerful man on, and I'm ready for a woman, aren't you all? Israel had a woman, England had a woman, India, many countries. Currently, Angela Merkel is in Germany, and she just got reelected yet again. And I'm ready for a woman president. Yeah. There'll be less wars, less fights, lots more shopping, but less. That's right. How old is your child?
She's 6 months.
6 months. She just gave me the finger. Look at that. But everybody does. Sooner or later. I first started in 1964. That's right. I thought so too. We have. I have 2 that I know of. So I first got interested in music because, as an outsider, I couldn't speak English very well when we first came here. 1958. Maybe it was 1858.
1758.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And in 1964, I saw a show called saw a show called The Ed Sullivan Show, way before your time. And there was a new band on there called The Beatles. And I had a hard enough time trying to speak without an accent. And all of a sudden, I heard him talking like that. If you talk like that, open the blue book. And that's what's called a Scouse accent. Liverpudlian. Doesn't that sound like, The Hobbit, the Shire? Liverpudlian with a cat. Tum tiddle day. Now you try it too. And when I saw the Beatles, I all of a sudden understood. Trust me, it's true. All of a sudden I understood that it probably is the best job you could have. The chicks love you, and you get paid. Because if I was a dentist, none of the ladies in this room would be here. Wow, that dentist is quite something. Although they're much more important than what we do. We just, we're just court jesters juggling and doing all that stuff. And within a year and a half of seeing the Beatles, I picked up a guitar and tried to learn this. That's an A minor. cheap. And there are thousands of songs. And Sienna will tell you, by the way, you should see this astonishing young lady. Can you take a bow, please?
How about this way, there you go.
She's really the boss of this household, don't believe. Yeah. Did you say yeah? This is her sister. Come on, take a bow. I have to say that because then she'll be my friend. That's her.
This is Sienna's grandmother. I'm the sister.
I'm not allowed to say grandmother. Yes, you're the sister. And so you learn these chords. And all of a sudden, you understand that there are thousands, tens of thousands of songs using the same chords. Angel baby, my angel baby, ooh, I love you. I can't sing that high. Ooh, I do. Just 1,000. This boy wants you back again. The Beatles would always feel the same, 'cause this boy wants you back again. Thousands. And then you learn these chords. You know those chords?
Wow thing.
Wow thing. Before there was rap, before there was anything, rock and roll was taking care of business. They talked. I know the guy that wrote it, Chip Taylor. He's John Voight's brother. John Voight, the father of Angelina Jolie. You passed it. Jeopardy. And so he could barely play guitar, but he could play these three chords. They're the basis of blues. I'm over here, there's a house of gold. I know I ain't nobody's fool. And then you need another line like this. I can't wait up, I don't, whatever the words are. You know, basically it's blues. 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. And you'd be shocked at how many tens of thousands of songs. And you don't even have to sing. Wow, thing. Right? You know that one. You make my heart sing. So this guy, Chip Taylor, wrote it, but he only knew 3 or 4 chords. And he wrote Wild Thing. And he told me he didn't have a melody. And when Sienna took my master class on the Kiss Cruise, more than once, I said, don't be afraid, don't worry, you can just go on one note and write a song, because there are thousands of songs with one chord. And they did. And the lyrics to that song were right upstairs, but you can't go there.
Yeah. Later, when they come to meet you, they're going to go.
Oh, the meet,
They
yeah,
are,
yeah. But
yes.
I thought of it, yeah.
No,
Yes.
no.
Mom's right
No,
there.
I wouldn't say that.
And Dad's right there, too. So,
It is Texas, I wouldn't say that.
so they didn't have a, Chip Taylor did not have lyrics or melody. And he just went, I'll just talk it through. Wild thing, you make my heart sing. Whatever that means. You make everything groovy. So he didn't, and the only other part of the song is Wild Thing, I think you're moving. I want to know for sure. Yeah. So he's just making it up. And later on, he was going to put in a melody and different chords, but they kept it. They didn't have a guitar player in the studio, so this guy Al Gargoni, who was a studio musician, said, "I can play flute." And they, okay, let's fill up this thing. So sure enough. This guy's playing piccolo, and so did California Dreaming by Mamas and the Papas. And so they were going to do it full stop. They just left it the way it is. And then when you learn how many songs have these chords, Chip Taylor wrote Wild Thing, and he had another song that he wanted to write, so he used the same chords. It's astonishing what chords and melody can do. It's Wild Thing. Just call me angel of the morning. So he goes, just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just call me whatever how the words are, baby. Just call me angel. Same chords, and thousands of other chords. So I just wanted to show you that.
Similarly, in the vault, you've done pieces of songs that you translated into other pieces of songs. Give a little medley, if you will, of some of those songs.
Well, Paul had a song that he was trying to write, and I forgot what it was, but it was good chords. It was... That's not it. I'm as nervous as Mike Tyson at a spelling bee. It is hot, isn't it? It's not just me? Okay. Wow. And I'm used to being on stage. So, long time ago, because he was a performer himself and all that, he heard about a song that was never recorded by Kiss or anything when I was doing demos called Eskimo Sun. I was a George Harrison fan, so I learned these things. I don't know why I wanted to write an Eskimo love song, but maybe because they had night for 6 months. You could really get busy like that. 6 months, yeah. Eskimo sun, you shine at me. I have bass fingers, so that's why the chords sometimes. Mother's love, far as the eyes can see. Then it goes into 6 months, love is here. Loving you. So the song kept going on and on. I did a demo, and I didn't like it. So I reused the chords, and I do it a lot of people do. Only you. I forgot the lyrics, although I wrote them. I need your love day and night. Oh, thank you for that breeze. Oh, it's a fan.
It's your biggest fan. I get one. That's it. One per show, that's it.
But the question is where, but that's another thing. Wow, did you just do that for me? Wow. This doesn't make any sense. I feel as cool as a cucumber. What does that mean? So Only You was on a obscure Kiss record called The Elder. But there are many songs that had earlier beginnings, and that's one of the reasons why the vault has got 167 a lot of stuff. It'll take you over 10 hours straight of listening to it and all that stuff. But beginning, when I first sat down, I wanted to just take a moment and try to explain what we're all doing here, but especially why I'm here. See, when I was a kid, I was fascinated by the music and the personalities who made the music and all that. but they never stepped off the stage. They were always up there, you know, Mount Olympus and all that. And I was always so grateful. It's okay. I'm wearing a diaper too. So
So true.
don't you worry. You're going to do it. It's only a matter of time. One day, you just stay with.
He could be right now.
He could be right. And when I was a kid, Elvis never stepped off the stage and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, thanks so much, you know, for making my life possible, because you did. You do. Without you guys, I'd be asking the next person in line, would you like some fries with that?" Don't kid yourself. And so to me, this is my bucket list. I'm going to be 69 soon. We can't last forever. And I wanted to do it while I was still have a memory and vibrant. Yeah. And wanted to take the time to spend just a few minutes with each and every single one of you and look you in the eyes and take off the asshole glasses and just have a moment of honesty with you and to let you know, see, I'm looking right in your eyes. It's not a gay thing. I'm just...
Can't say that anymore.
Can't say that anymore.
You can't say that anymore.
It's not a happy thing.
Very good.
And to let you know just how much profoundly this means to me, especially as a little kid. See, I'm going to get all choked up when I talk about America. Oh boy. Especially as a little kid who used to pick cactus in Israel, and we had nothing. There was no infrastructure, no roads, no nothing. It was a new country. And when we came to America, I'd never seen a TV set, didn't understand what anybody was talking about. I thought Santa Claus was a rabbi, you know. Well, I never heard of Christianity or Jesus or anything. But then I was relieved to find out he was a Jewish rabbi. I think, you know, it's okay. That's actually true. Yeah, Josephus wrote about that in the Roman text. You can find it in the Vatican. His real name was Rabbi Yesu ben Yosef. He's shaking his head. No, it wasn't.
Crazy memory. Awesome.
Christ was based on the Latin king or Messiah, so Jesus Christ is not a name. Mom and Dad were not Mr. and Mrs. Christ. Jewish males were called Ben, son of the father, like Ben-Hur, the movie. Ben is the son of so-and-so. And in English, Johnson, John, the son of Johnson. Gene, I don't care. Get back to music.
I was going to say that.
And so I heard the Kinks and bands like that, and they had simple songs. Well, he gets up in the morning, and he goes to work at 9, and he comes back home at 5:30, sick, that takes the same train every time. I'm gonna go to the next part. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best things so conservatively. And I said, I can play those chords. They're not rock and roll chords. They're not... You know, it's not that. That's Chuck Berry, by the way. I was proud to have given the eulogy, just by accident, at Chuck Berry's funeral, which broke my heart, because there were no other people of note there. Nobody. No McCartney, no... Without Chuck Berry, there'd be no rock and roll. It's this guy. That is the basis. And he has such huge hands. I'm such a big fan of his, that he could do this. And I can't, because my hands aren't as big. You have to do it here. And he could do it here. So I diverted again, yet again. Where was I going?
You were going...
Oh, the Kinks. So they had, well, he gets up in the morning. I said, I can do those chords. So I wrote my own song, because their songs start like this. So I wrote my own, with the astonishingly complex lyric of "My uncle is a raft." Right on time, too. 1966, goes like this. My uncle is a raft, and he always keeps me floating. He is so good to me. He treats me tenderly. That's a little scary lyric. It doesn't matter who you are. I've added that. That was my idea. So I first started playing guitar, and then I noticed everybody wants to play guitar. And everybody wants to be in bands and be a drummer or guitar player. Nobody wants to be a bass player. So I picked up a bass, just kind of like insurance to make sure I could get into a band. Interesting enough, McCartney started off on guitar, and for the same reason switched to bass. And when you think of Van Halen, a band I discovered, when you think of Van Halen, and you think of Eddie Van Halen being this extraordinary guitar player, and he is, and Alex being a great drummer, they were opposites. Eddie was the drummer, Alex was the guitar player. They switched when they realized they could do a better job at it. So when you see somebody playing guitar in a band, whether they're Keith Richards or somebody, and you hear the records, sometimes the person on bass, something I said, sometimes the person playing bass is not the bass player. Likewise for Kiss records. We had our drummer Eric Carr playing bass on a song or two. Sometimes I played guitar. That's me. Which I wrote with a new songwriter who had yet to do anything. His name was Brian Adams. That's the wrong chord. It's a little out of tune, but that's the story of my life. See, I'd rather hear what you have to say. If the questions...
We'll get to the questions, but you opened the Van Halen door, so let's talk about it because a lot of people got excited. The 3 tracks on the ball with the Van Halen brothers, including the original version of Christine 16. How did that come about? And maybe play a little Christine 16.
Well, Paul Stanley and I have always been 2 different sides of the same coin. We're completely different and yet share the same ethics, work ethic. He's a great family man. No drugs, booze, no farm animals except grilled. Grilled ones are okay. And so we started making fun of each other's songs. All you ever do is write monster songs like God of Thunder, I'm a God of Thunder. And I said, oh, you're right. So he went off and, that doesn't sound too bad. So he went off and wrote God of Thunder. And I said, all you ever write is chick songs. You actually had, take me. The hell am I singing like a chick for? Take me! Are you sure that's my part? I've got makeup on, I got jewel blood. Take me! You sure? He did it again. Is that my part? You want me to do it? Because I'm on stage, I got dragon boots, big codpiece, I got my lunch in there. I'm not making any of this stuff up. And I said, all you ever do is write chick songs. I love you, you love me, I don't give a damn, do I have my mother's hips? Like all these stupid lyrics. It's rock and roll. Sing like, the God is not, I love you, take me. Making love. You're writing a song called Making Love. I'm making love, too much for love. I had love for breakfast. Cut out with love. Just write a song. You always write songs like Christine 16 Christine 16? That kind of sounds cool. Of course, in those days, now you get arrested, but in those days, that's sweet little 16, many. You're 16, you're beautiful, and you're mine in some states. Everything I'm telling you is true. In California, you wind up in jail and you become somebody's girlfriend. But so we were coming back from Japan and I kept thinking of this song. It's out of key, but it's okay. It's out of tune, but it's okay. So once I learned how to do that, I said, how do I make, I'm busy playing this, and maybe that should be a part by itself. And I went, wait a minute, there's a spot in there. Christine, 16. Don't sing. And so that's where the song came from. And then I wrote Paul Stanley lyrics like, she got me dizzy, I can't live without her. All the lyrics. She's got me in her hands. Finally, a Gene Simmons lyric. She's got me in her hands. You know what that is. There's no use in pretending. Christine. So Van Halen. Oh, you can sing. Oh, thank you. Sometimes my colostomy bag bursts.
Sometimes.
Did you know that Keith used to be a comedian?
Yeah, it used to be. Now I'm the night janitor.
And now I'm the joke. So, where was I? Oh, Van Halen. So I found this band called Van Halen. They were playing in a small club, blah, blah, blah. Signed them to Man of 1,000 Faces. My production company flew them to New York and did their first 24-track demo, which became, a lot of it became the first and second record. So we came back from Japan, we were on tour, and I had these 3 songs, and I called the Van Halen brothers, and we recorded 3 songs one night, 1 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock. That's in the box set. That's Van Halen brothers and me doing that. Also, Got Love for Sale. Your condition's red. You can't get to bed. Gene Simmons lyric. Yeah, I got that there. And that's the story of my life. But
Tunnel of Love as well.
which, of course, has the astonishing lyric of Tunnel of Love. Tunnel of Love. You're a tunnel of love. You know it. Got nasty habits. It's a fine line. We're here with Sienna and stuff, so I'm not going to do the other lyrics.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know it. You know the lyric? Yeah.
I won't say it.
So many girls, so little time. Some of you know it. When love rears its head. I wanna.
Get on your case.
I wanna.
Put Marlo on.
In your fireplace? Oh my God!
He was referencing this fireplace.
I was referencing the hearth. Christmas. Do you want to ask a few
Hey,
questions?
open up some questions. Do we have a remote mic or no?
Can I take my jacket off?
Yes.
Just your jacket.
Do you want it? Does he want a Snapple or is that?
David Rose and his orchestra.
Lift that leg. One more time.
Now lift the other one.
No, lift the other one. That young lady right there raised her hand first, so here, she'll ask a question.
Okay.
What's been the best part of doing these whole experiences?
I swear to you, no sugarcoating is meeting you guys. Because it reminds me that, well, I said it before, without you, I'm not bringing all that. But you tell me your stories, where you were, what you were doing. I know about your daughter. We talked many times about it. And everybody's got a story, and at the end of the day, we're all just passing through. You know that. At the end of the day, maybe our job is, all of us, everybody here, to leave the planet a little bit better than when we came into it, right? Because somebody else is going to have their turn living on this planet. So be kind to each other, charity, philanthropy. It's so easy to be stupid and arrogant, and I was an arrogant son of a bitch for decades. And it takes a woman just to, because you're life givers. We just work here. And it takes women to remind us. You know, I did an article for New Republic about death row inmates who are going to their death. You want to take a guess what word came up more than any other word before they're put to death?
Mother.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of big tough guys, beat people, criminals and stuff that have a heart and says mother, mom or mother. I never see one that says dad. That doesn't mean there aren't great dads. It just means there's some connection. You're a great dad?
No. I got a question. What compelled you to re-record "See You in Your Dreams" for your solo?
See You in Your Dreams. Kiss recorded it. I didn't like it. We're all, kind of delusional about when we look in the mirror, we go, oh, there's a spot over there, nobody else can see it. So in my own delusional way, I thought Kiss, the other guys, didn't get the vibe, because I was playing drums and guitar and bass, and it captured what I had in my mind. So I decided to re-record it. This time with Rick Nielsen on guitar, and I don't remember who else was on it. There's lots of people. But that 1978 solo record had, oh God, everybody. Bob Seger, Rick Nielsen, Joe Perry, Cher, who I was with at the time, just everybody. Who?
Down the Summer?
Down the Summer, Helen Reddy. Lassie, really. Yes.
Since you mentioned family, how's your mom?
My mom's great. She's kicking ass. 92 years old. Bright. There are maitre d's whose carcasses are lined up from the restaurants that my mother has visited. Let me give you an idea of what it's like. My mother's she only has me. And that's why I'm a good boy. No drugs, no booze, no cigarettes, nothing. There's no way I'd break my mother's heart. Not after she had a horrible, horrible life. At 14, she was in the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. And so she's very eccentric and very particular and just a ball, just an alpha female, even now. She's like a queen. My mom's 92, wears high heels and always coiffed and always dressed. Dressed to kill. You can, anytime, day or night, go to, she's got to do. Marie Antoinette, eat your heart out, bitch. She's just... And so she goes into a restaurant, and the maitre d' comes up, oh, Mrs. So-and-so Simmons. What would you like? I would like, she's Hungarian accent. She still speaks. I would like a corner table over there. It's quiet. So she goes there, give her anything she wants. She's Jane's mother, who'll bomb the place. Okay. Then, soon enough, my mother's hand is up. We go, oh yeah, right over. What? It's too quiet here. Can I go over there? It's too much noise, too bright. I smell the bathroom. By the end, every one of these maitre d's goes to a hardware store and buys a plaque and put their name on it, and then of course rope so that people will know who's hanging there. We went to a restaurant called Tao in New York. Huge place, very fancy and all this stuff. And we had our TV show. We had a TV show called Family Jewels that lasted 167 episodes.
Wow.
And showed my beloved family and all that. Again, I just work here. So my mom and I are eating dinner, and the chef comes out, with a big hat, and little chefettes are following him out to the table. We've got about 10 of us, and my mother's in the middle, of course, coiffed and ready to go, and everybody's in jeans and, stuff. She's sucking in her cheeks, the way women do, yeah. And the profile and all that. This was when she was about 80-something. And she outdressed everybody in that place. Please. And the chef comes over and he addresses my mother. Says, I'm such a big fan of your son. Ad infinitum, ad nauseum, and without kids, and because of kids, I'm a great chef. Maybe he's talking about the work ethic, anything you want and stuff. So my mother had, bad teeth. So she asks for scrambled eggs and mashed potatoes. We don't make them. Okay. Meatloaf and mashed potato. And he goes, well, we don't make, we have like insects and whatever you guys eat with the 10 legs and the tentacles with the eyeballs going different ways. And, they have that kind of food and raw meat. We discovered fire a long time ago. You can take the meat and stick it. You don't have to eat it raw anymore. Now, there are people here that pay a fortune. Let's just put some rice around it, but it's raw. They just killed it. And he says, we don't make meatloaf and stuff, but for you, I'm going to. And you see them walking off, the chefettes, and the chef is going, okay, you're going to. They walk off. And, oh, sorry, before he walks off, he says, can you wait 15 minutes? I know you're hungry. She goes, oh, yeah. They walk off. And as soon as he leaves, so help me God on my children. She reaches down into her purse. She's got her foot inside the, what is it, the handle? Is it called the handle?
Strap.
The strap. She's got her foot in the strap in case somebody tries to steal it. So it's on the floor, just on one side. So she's got, and reaches down, and you know what saran wrap is? An egg salad sandwich on Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread is an East Coast bread that's like just marshmallows and sweet. And she starts eating it. But, Mom, the chef, and they go, I was hungry.
Gene, in 1974, you guys were known to play anywhere. So you made the mistake to fill in for someone, got on a plane and came to my hometown of Edmonton, where it was February and freezing.
Our first
Show outside
of a tour, really.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks
South
for choosing.
Edmonton University or something it was called.
At Dinwoody Lounge.
In
where-
Dinwiddie, that's right.
That's where it was.
You were
So-
there?
No. Boyish good looks, I guess. Not yet. I was a little young, but the girl with the purple and green hair.
Oh my God. See,
From
I was right in
Edmonton.
front of you.
I haven't met her.
Yeah.
Did you ever see or hear from her again past that initial?
No.
No. Okay.
But I was so, you know, for me, it was before you get jaded and stuff like that. 1 second you're nobody in Europe. We're making $75 a week. Next second you're playing on lunch tables in a university, which of course crumble because our amplifiers are too loud. And all the college kids are hippies sitting cross-legged and, you know, kind of, they're waiting for Gordon Lightfoot to come on stage. And the ship of the asparagus and the asparagus, whatever. You know Gordon Lightfoot?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
About a ghost in the wishing well. So, actually, I'm a big fan of Gordon. He hates me, but I'm a big fan. And we had flash pods and everything. So by the third song, we put the flash pods. The kids jumped up and ran out because they got scared. The ones, you know, they were expecting the Michael Quattro band, Susie Quattro's brother.
Yeah.
But there was some that was left, and we did our best. Afterwards, for the first time in my life, we went into a room which they called the chicken coop, and there were quite a few members of the female of the species there. And I
We're
didn't
friendly in Canada.
I'm not doing this, Mom. Yes. And for me, it was romantic. I didn't think about the jaded, nothing. It was just sort of, you know, the eyes locked. And there was a girl with green hair, but stunning, like Marilyn Monroe. I don't mean like dark green hair, just lighter. And
She's here right now. You want to see her again?
and we became friends.
There you go.
You know, and I thanked her on the solo record. The sad part is I never learned her name.
No.
But I'm sure she knows.
Not
She's
my
not your
grandma.
mom, right? Maybe.
Verdict, Maureen.
That's good.
This young man has a question.
This isn't a music question, but I was reading an article, this was years and years ago. People of the Jewish faith have this sense of humor, comedy sense of humor.
Or they kill you.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's, like I say, it was years ago. And where the humor comes from.
As African Americans will tell you, as Jews will tell you, as the downtrodden will tell you, humor comes from pain.
Yeah, that's partly what the article said.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't write that, right? You read it?
No, I know, I really read this.
Yeah.
This was
Humor, a lot of humor comes from pain. When you really see somebody extremely funny, comes some pain. Then, of course, once they get up on stage, they pick on you.
Yeah, right.
But because comedy is based, pratfall, so it's at someone's expense. Yeah, a lot of the comedians have gone through horrible lives.
Yeah, that's
The
what,
best
that's
comedi-
basically what the article said. It was from pain. But like I said, this was years ago that
Yeah.
I read it.
It's the armor you can wear to sort of cover the
Yeah,
pain.
okay.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
While there may not be any immediate plans, what do you think the chances are that we may hear any new Kiss music or even Gene Simmons band music?
Well, I had two songs that I wrote recently. One was called "Without You I'm Nothing," and the other one is "Your Wish Is My Command." And Ace called me an asshole. No, he called me a little while ago and asked me to come out to his desert place. He lives out in Bum. It's not in Iowa, but it's out there. I'll take that. Somebody's phone?
Home phone.
Home phone.
It's calling.
It's a bill collector.
Yeah.
Dad's phone in the car has sound effects. Sienna, would you mind doing when you text? What do you do?
When I text him, it's a sound from
He's asking you to text me.
one of my favorite movies.
Can you put it on, come on, stand up and put it on camera. Put it on
I
microphone.
got a texter, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You need to maybe turn the phone on.
You have it on vibrate?
Press 10 buttons.
Do it again. Do it again.
Wow.
That's from.
So we're riding in the car. And he's got different effects. His wife has got a sound. You want to hear that?
Oh, okay.
You can't make this
There
up.
it is. Oh, there
No,
we
that's
go.
Sam.
call me, Holly.
No. Oh, call you or text you?
Call me.
Is it the Darth Vader theme, Brian?
Psycho.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I know that.
You recognize that one?
You can't do that in a football stadium. I'm doing live, what is that, FaceTime?
Yeah.
Who's on the phone?
My sister Andrea from Canada.
Hi, Andrea. Say hello to everybody. Look.
Hi.
She speaks fluent Canadian. My wife is Canadian. She's a Newfie.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy. But Newfies didn't consider themselves.
Newfoundland. Kids do this.
Okay.
Kids do this.
So, apparently there's a town called
Dildo.
Dildo,
Yeah.
and there's...
to Dildo High School.
In 2013, you guys went for a tour around there.
Yeah, we played. Yeah. Tell me if this is true. Next to Dildo is Come by Chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next to that is Placentia Bay.
Yeah.
And next to that is it Spread Eagle? What is it? Spread Eagle.
Oh my God.
Drunk Sailors. That's what.
Long
Let's call it.
winter.
Let's go. Fuck off. Let's call it that. City.
And so of all the women in the world, Gene, which one did you pick to marry? That's a good part of the country, huh?
Guys are. I'll speak for all you guys because you have the same DNA as I do. We're attracted to women and blah, 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 and it's easy. It's really easy. And we're arrogant and self-centered. And if the question is where are you going, you want to say who the hell wants to know? Because you have all this testosterone. Male or female? Female. It's a lot of jokes, but I'm not going to joke. And it takes. I'll be 69 soon. I didn't get married the first time until I was 62. Never been married. And she stuck by my sorry ass for 29 years. And a word of advice to all you women: keep all your men on a short leash. I don't mean that to be funny or anything. It's just, while you're crazy about your guy and stuff like that, every other woman in the world's got perfume and high heels and all this. It's like living in a bakery and being on a diet. So, did I answer your question?
She's a good girl. She's a
more,
good girl.
No, more than that.
Yeah.
There's, and she knew about all the crap for 29 years and never left. And then you got to take a moment and ask yourself, we're all going to take our turn one day. Hopefully it'll be in a bed and you go quietly or whatever. Who do you want around you? Your loved ones, people who care about you, or you just go out this sorry, self-centered, arrogant guy? At some point. I mean, have your friends and your social stuff, but when the chips are down, you want to go out quietly with the people who made your life mean something.
You want to go hand out some vaults?
No.
Okay. More questions? All right. Gentleman in the back.
Gene, did you?
What was it like on the set of Kiss Meets the Phantom?
Kiss Meets the Phantom was a pivotal point for the band. We started in '74. Within a year and a half, we're playing Anaheim Stadium before voicemail, before MTV, before any. So it happened very fast. And by 1977, 78, 79, we're the '1 band in America, above the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and everything in the Gallup poll. Just skyrocket. And we're making $85 a week. I started at 75, went to 85. But you're living the life of Riley, as they say. And in 78, I was in Hollywood living with a young lady, and I went Hollywood and all that. And we were doing this Kiss Meets the Phantom that had Frankenstein and Dracula and all this other stuff that, real fans just thought was like kid stuff. Although we beat Cleopatra debut on ABC, NBC. We had twice as many views Halloween night. So we're filming, and Peter goes off and is not seen for 3-4 days, and Ace goes off and has his stuff, and we literally had to get stand-ins because they didn't show up for work, and apparently they were unhappy. And in those days, they were doing a lot of stupid stuff, and for a long time. It's just a matter of public record. And as a matter of fact, Peter was so unintelligible that they got an actor to put in all his lines in the movie. They couldn't understand, so they had a guy, "Hey, what you doing?" A guy, "Hey, talking like this." And so for the whole movie, it's this other guy. He was furious when it happened. The answer to your question is, the movie was torture, because at the same time, Ace was telling me that, and the band and the management, I'm leaving the band and I'm going to release a solo album, and it's going to sell 10 million albums. And our response was, go with God, have your solo career, but stay in the band. Have your cake, eat it too. No, I can't do that. Just constantly made bad decisions. And Peter said, "You're doing a solo record? I'm doing a solo record." And management just went, "Let's all do solo records together. Let's release them on the same day." Cuckoo. Nobody had ever done that, not the Beatles, Stones, nobody. Or the Four Freshmen. Nobody. That's one. And you knew that? And so we did, and that saved the band for a little while. We did another tour, Dynasty and stuff. But by then, Peter was smashing his hands into glass tables and cutting his tendons. We'd have to cancel the tour for 6 months. Just crazy stuff. And both Peter and Ace, who we love dearly, and Ace has turned out to be a good guy when he's straight. It's Jekyll and Hyde. Have been in and out of the band 3 separate times. How many chances in life are you going to get? You make a mistake at work, you're done. Did I answer the question?
Plus, they've both been to vault events recently.
But you know what? Everybody shows up. Peter came by, said hello to folks in New York, was sweet as can be. Ace came to a few, flew to some cities, was in LA, stayed the whole day, had a ball. Paul Stanley If I was a girl, I'd get him some. You know, he's so, or a certain kind of guy. I'd give him a little something, something. So,
My dad just asked, who's Paul Stanley?
he's my better half. So he's going to be in Las Vegas. He's going to join us. And Vinny was in Nashville. Tommy Thayer, Erickson, all the guys. You know, some of our guys have passed on, unfortunately, due to illness. And so the remaining members, everybody shows up. Not because of me. See, the magic is they want to be near you. They may not be able to verbalize it, but, and this is all affectation. You know, my wig is an affectation. No, it's not. If I was going to get one, why would I get one that looks like that? Lisa Lampanelli was roasting me on our show. She's very, very funny. And she herself has gone through a lot of grief. You know, wasn't the most svelte, whatever woman. So through her pain, just devastatingly funny. And she comes up, thank you for inviting me. And I'm sitting in a throne, lifted above. And this was on a TV show. And she says, I want you all to know, ask yourself, what do you call a man whose ethical and moral center and the lyrics have changed humanity for the better? A poet, a world leader. What do you call that man? I call that man John Lennon. Who the fuck is that?
Right here in the front.
Comic books have played an influence in your life since you were young. Is it true that your makeup design around the eyes was based off of a comic book character's cape?
Almost. And thank you for asking that. When I first came to America, I couldn't speak English, and I learned to read through comic books. The pictures, the words sort of meant what it looked like, and books were just unintelligible. There were no illustrations or anything, so it took a long time. And so when I taught 6th grade in Spanish Harlem, I brought in Spider-Man comics. And there was more discussion and more depth, more interest than any books. Of course, the kids were basically Boricua, which was Puerto Ricanos, the original Indians that came from Puerto Rico before Europeans tortured. And so the school curriculum was read Jane Eyre, about a little, Snow White skinned, red cheeks girl in the English countryside who was born with royalty and stuff. They couldn't relate to that. They come from crack neighborhoods, dad's gone, mom could be doing all kinds of things, broken homes. They couldn't connect. Spider-Man, they could connect with. He wore a mask, and the cops didn't like him, the bad guys didn't like him. His grandfather was killed in front of him. That's the backstory. I mean, they really related to it, and then they started telling the stories, which would break your heart, because they read a comic book. So however you get, there's no right or wrong. However you get there, I'm getting lost because I love the sound of my own voice. To answer your question, we all take bits and pieces, visual imagery and stuff, and then we put together our own puzzle. Mine came, kind of automatically, stream of conscience. I love the Phantom of the Opera. Again, this kind of wounded human being who lived in the basement of the opera with his face acid, but who loved this starlet on stage and would do anything, break every law just to have her. That's what the story of the Phantom is about. And he wore a mask. And the way the original Lon Chaney Sr., Creighton Tull Sr., by the way, produced by Todd Browning. I'll tell you the story of the thing. Jack Pierce did the makeup, all that boring stuff that makes girls go, oh, I gotta go now. And so there was a scene that I've seen in photos, and the beautiful lighting inferred that makeup, and I just loved it was on half the face. That's where the makeup came from, because I, so much loved that scene that I gave my only begotten son. No, that's another story. No, I just got lost. And then the wings came from Namor the Submariner, which is Roman backwards, a Marvel character, who interestingly enough came from the sea, but he had wings and he could, like flying fish, couldn't fly, but he could glide. I loved the character. And Black Bolt, B-O-L-T, who was one of the Inhumans, and he likewise could glide a little bit, but he couldn't fly. And I thought it was humanizing, so for whatever reason, of course, you're playing bass in a band, let's put wings on. And of course, the boots came from Godzilla, for no particular reason.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, to learn some cool stuff.
More questions or vault handout? What would you like to do?
It's their time.
All right. Gentleman right there at the red shirt.
Gene, on these demos, did you typically do the drums, or who did the drums on a lot of these demos?
On
On vault.
the vault,
Yeah.
I play enough drums to do a demo, not well enough to play in a band. And sometimes you can put the kick down first, then overdub the snare, pop, 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 and then overdub, chugoo, kachoo, chugoo, kachoo. But to play it all at the same time is difficult. So I'm Radioactive, Almost You, and a few of these things I'm playing. Otherwise, you get a drummer locally. It could be anybody from Peter to anybody else. And all the KISS members are on these demos, spanning a 50-year period of time from 1966 to 2016. And literally over 10 hours of music, but on a lot of the stuff I'm playing all the instruments, doing all the backgrounds, engineering, and all that stuff. Because you're just taken by you have an idea. It's like when you're painting. I knew Andy Warhol. Andy hardly painted. Andy had ideas. You know who I'm talking about? Andy Warhol. Mm-hmm. So he had a group of people, like Paul Stanley, who would come over and they would, have the basic idea, and it's a little more red here. And different people, by the way, Roy Lichtenstein, some other people have that point of view. And there are chefs in restaurants. I'm the chef, I did. Well, he doesn't cook every meal. Put some more onions in, do this, do that. So there are different ways of doing that. But when nobody's around and you're painting, you want to do it yourself because you're just passionate about it. Yes, young lady. I'm looking straight at you.
Okay.
Everyone that says, me.
Just a short bit, isn't it? Just a short answer. You taught school.
No such thing.
That's great.
What was your formal education when you came here? You were how old, and then
I was 56 when I landed in America. No, I was 8 and a half, and this was in 1958, and finished high school, college, got my BA in education, Bachelor of Arts in Education. So that meant I could go right into teaching, and at the same time, 1972, I had a night job and an afternoon job and worked on the weekends, worked the night shift at Williamson, legal service. I learned about contracts and partying the first part versus partying the second part. But it ain't a party, it's a different kind of word. These are semantics, but I'm not anti-semantic. So formal education is BA in Bachelor of Arts in Education.
Gentleman with leather jacket.
Yes, Gene, you said you began writing songs in 1966, and over the course of your career, you've written hundreds of songs. Which is the one song that you recorded and written that you would say is the definitive Gene Simmons song? And which is the one that you recorded that you haven't, that you didn't write, that means the most to you?
Wow. Well, KISS is a sort of a laser sight. You have to kind of focus on what you do, but I started writing songs that had nothing to do with riffs and guitars and stuff like that. It just kind of came out naturally. There's a song called Seduction of the Innocent that was recorded much later that had a guitar line. Ba-da-da, da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da. Very Middle Eastern thing. I dreamed that melody when I was 13 before I could play an instrument. because everybody sings. When you get into the shower, everybody hums melodies. I just remembered that then when I learned how to play an instrument, wrote a song called Seduction of the Innocent. The answer to your question is, even though I've written a lot of different stuff which people haven't heard, because you're doing Kiss. The only song that I ever wrote on my own without anybody else, because I've co-written as well with Bob Dylan and Paul Stanley, is a song called I Dream a Thousand Dreams. It's the only song I ever wrote where I woke up in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll do it all for you, if only one of my dreams come true. 'Cause every night would be ecstasy if I could be with you. Yes, every night would be ecstasy if I could be with you. Oh, boy, that's a great song. Who was that? The Platters? I dream 1,000 dreams. I walk 1,000,000 miles for you. Not you, guy, the chick in front of you. If you could just give me a smile, I could die and be happy too. All those words and the entire melody was written somehow linear. I don't know where it came from. I woke up and went down, had a little tape recorder. You don't know what those are. That's what happens. And that, to me, means more than anything because there is something. You hear songwriters and other people talk about this. There's something over here, and some people say it's God. Whatever that is, however you get there, there's a magic that happens. So for me, it wasn't planned or anything. You're picking up the guitar.
Because I want you to tell the story about the song you wrote that you thought you were writing.
Oh.
This is...
Did you know that basically, you can be technical, there are only 8 notes in music. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, say no. Do ends and begins with do. It's going to be how to keep it. That's it. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Would you like a pick?
I have one.
Some people would sell that finger on eBay. This is not on the vault.
So I'm sitting around. In the event of something happening to me. The Bee Gees, before they sang, like chicks. There is something I would like. Gee, that's cool. Mining Disaster, 1942. That was the name of the song. And I love that chord because it's an A minor, like this. Kind of sounds sad. She left me. Now she's back. But I'm still sad. See, minor, major. So they took that chord and did this. But they also put in the high, the root note, on the top. That gives it that symphonic thing. So I said, I'm going to rip off that chord and make my own song. And so I went like this. I like that. That's good. I got to show you my expressions. Oh, that's good. my stairway to heaven. Oh, that's good. It's a true story. You want to go and do stuff?
I think we'll go hand out some balls, I think. Meet everybody face to face. What do you think? Sound good?
We should tell you a little bit about the vault, and here's why. And we've taken much longer than any other event we've done, because it takes hours and hours. I'm going to tell you what's in the vault so that I save the time and try to be nice to everybody. Here's why. When we first started doing it, it took about 10 minutes per person to open the vault and explain it every time and all that. That's 6 people an hour. If you have 50 people there, that's 6 people an hour. Do the arithmetic. We're there 6 times 10 is 60. You're there 8.5, 9 hours. And I was there from the beginning to the end, but it's not fair to the people in the back who are waiting all day. Okay? So by doing this, I can explain what's in there, and then personalize it. I'll do animal tricks for you, whatever that is, but we'll knock it down to about 5 or under. That way, in the course of an hour, I can see 10, 12 people, and then it'll be 5, 6 hours, or 5 hours, instead of 8 or 9. So go ahead. So that's literally the heaviest box set of all time, but he's going to open the door and ignore it when I'm...
Pull the handle. Do not twist the handle. Just pull.
There's no angels singing?
How come your name's on there?
Because I'm an executive producer on the vault.
Snap!
So I went to a studio in Dallas, and I got to hear some songs that are in the box set, and I got to decide if they should be shorter or longer, or how I could change them. And then I got to go to his house, and I got to see his house and walk around and see the box set with my name. And it was so much fun being able to work on this project with him.
And do you know that we took notes? You can see the video, right? Can you see the video when Sienna came to the studio? Keith?
Can we see it right now?
No, I mean, is it on the...
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, yeah.
It's on YouTube, so you can see it on YouTube. And I actually followed her advice. There were some songs that were a little long that we made shorter. Something about the order of the songs, move it there. We actually did that. Because I wanted to do the same thing that Steven Spielberg does. You see, because nobody's going to tell him how to direct or write or do anything with a motion picture. Every one of his movies, including one player which just came out, they all do at least $100 million. He does a very strange thing. The most respected filmmaker of all time. He'll take his movie and he'll go to Moncton, Canada, or Ypsilanti, Michigan, and ask the least qualified people on earth what's wrong with this movie. And they will tell him, I don't like the ending, the alien should have lived instead of died, whatever that is. Because at the end of the day, you're the boss. I'm up there and I do all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't doing you a favor, I really wanted to find out what you thought, so I could make it better. What was it like?
I thought it was because she was a redhead.
Well, when I first met you, I was a little nervous because I got to meet my idol. And now that I know you a little more, I'm not nervous anymore because because I know how nice he is, and he may look very intimidating on stage, but he's a very nice guy.
How old were you when we first met?
I was 8, I think. 9.
And now how old are you?
I'm 11, almost 12.
But you've also been involved in our master classes, right? What was that like?
That was fun. When I first got on stage, the first master class I did, I was not expecting for me to write a song. And my song was about multiplication and how much I hate it. And at that time I didn't know that you were a math teacher. And no offense, but I really hate sixth grade math.
When you start making a lot of money, you're going to love arithmetic. I'll make a quick deal with you before I do the box set, okay? Okay. I have the money. I'm good for it. I will give you $10 million in cash. I'll put it into an escrow account. Mom will explain what that is. By the way, Mom's a lawyer, so I reserve my rights.
I believe that.
$10 million. If, for 31 days, you give me 1 penny today. On the second day, all you gotta do is double it. On the second day, you go to 2 pennies. So that's, in 2 days, I make 2 pennies.
Sorry.
Whose is that?
That's Kian.
He should have his own show. So on the second day, 2 pennies. Third day, 4 cents. Fourth day, 8 cents. 16 cents. 32 cents. Okay, so you're a little over $1 at the end of 7 days. Only 3 weeks to go. Is that a deal?
Yes.
I'm Jewish. What it means is that compounded, the arc, the financial arc goes like this, and then skyrockets over the last few days. In 31 days, winds up being a little over $13 million out of 1 penny. As long as you keep doubling it without taxing on that. Be careful. Hear the whole story before you... Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. No, not sounds. Show me everything. It's called due diligence. It was a pleasure to talk to me. She writes songs. She's going to model. I told her dad on the way here, nobody's listening and stuff, so I'll repeat it again. There's some magic going on here, and she's got to find out what her journey is, but something special going on here.
I love to act.
Are you acting right now?
Yes, I just got finished acting in front of a painting.
I just mean, are you acting right now in front of us? Because Shakespeare, says the whole world's a stage. We're just all... Are you acting? No. You're going to pose for one of those beauty shots for the fans?
Yes.
Yeah! She will stare down anybody. Most people get up here and they get shy and stuff. So she's got the heart of a lioness. Lions are the king of the jungle, but you know who hunts? The lioness. The lion just sits around and does nothing. Yeah, it's true. Okay, we're going to go do this, and Keith should explain to you what's inside.
So inside, in case you haven't seen online, first you have the book. You pull this little cord right here. It comes down. The CDs live inside the book. How many? You heard there were 10. There were 11 CDs. On the back is a special bonus CD. Behind that lives the action figure. The first ever non-makeup Gene Simmons action figure. Looks a lot like a... And then over here is the Gene Simmons coin. In Latin, on one side it says, "You're too loud, you're too old." The other side in Latin it says, "In Gene we trust." Down the bottom, the secret compartment, it says, "A gift from Gene," and that's literally what it is. We went through his basement, his attic, his storage space, all these different places through his actual personal collection. Where we're in his office, he opens up his glass cases, he goes, "Oh, I have one of those, take that, I have 2 of those, take that, and here's a box of watches, and put those in the van before Shannon sees." And true story. And inside each of these will be special surprise items, all random, and as my 10-year-old says, you get what you get, and you don't complain. And it's super heavy, it weighs 40 pounds, so when you guys leave, we'll have someone help you out with it. It has handles on the side, it has wheels on the bottom.
Metal wheels.
Metal wheels.
And you should know that no 2 vaults are the same. So you're going to have, when you open the secret compartment at home, you might get a piece of my dragon boots or armor or used gloves or shades or something, or a collectible. We have bubble wrap that we unwrap. So what you're getting in there, I no longer have in my collection. Get it? So I wanted to, so we're going to go around the world. We're going to go to Brazil and Australia and Moncton.
We're not going to Moncton.
I don't think so.
I've been there. Okay, we'll see you back there, but every one of you is going to come.
Thanks, Gene.
Thank you.